All right. Hey, folks, it's Bronwyn here from Divine Inner Alchemy. I'm here with my friend Kat, and I'm going to interview Kat about light language, both speak light language, and this is another series in the light language interviews I've been doing. So, welcome, Kat.
Well, it's great to be here, Bronwyn. I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, me too. All right, good.
I
So,
know when I was starting with light language, I had looked online in YouTube to see what was there. So I'm excited to be putting this up on YouTube with you. And maybe this will come to people who will be looking for the same sort of thing I was looking for.
yeah, beautiful. Me too. I have kind of a similar sort of thing. When I first started speaking light language, I mean, there were some people like Jamie Price and I can't think of the lady's name from New Zealand. Anyway, whatever, it's escaped me now. That were on there, but I didn't actually find those. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was a bit of like a bit of a desert out there as far as trying to get information. And then it was only within a few years that then there was just heaps of information on the internet about light language. But yeah, it's nice to actually um, to be doing this, to put that out there, because the information that's on light language, not a lot of it is about people asking questions, which I think when you're first starting light language, that's one of the things you have, isn't it? Like, am I weird? Am I wah, rah, rah? And I know,
Yeah,
which I'm sure you can relate to.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because I am weird.
Yeah, I know.
And
Me
I
too.
like to own it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, be weird. So all well, I've got this little meme and it's got a lamppost and it says, "Shine your weird light so all the other weirdos can find you."
Yes.
And
What we're
when I started light language, there was one particular experience that I had where light language came through in, I was walking in the bush and, as you know, and just for the viewers out there, part of what I use light language for, or what I'm guided to use light language for, it's not like I chose this, is to help heal and to release and heal trauma that's held in the land. And so there was one, probably the first time that I was actually doing that. And I was like hugging this tree, like bawling my eyes out because that's the energy that needed to come through. And it was just like, oh my God, I'm going to be weird even amongst the weirdos.
At least you know who you're looking for.
Yeah. So, yeah, but like there's not a lot. I mean, I think I did see, I don't know if you uh, participated in it, but there was like maybe a year or so ago, maybe a bit more than a year, I can't remember, but there's a lady called Vox Angeles, or Vox Angelus. That's not her actual proper name, but she's another Stargater like us, and she did a series of interviews with a bunch of people who spoke light language, and that
Hmm.
was really helpful to me because listening to them was like a lot of it confirmed. It was like, oh my God, yes, that's what I experience, and yes, that's what I've come to know. So that was very helpful. So hope I'm absolutely sure our this interview we're going to do will be helpful to whoever finds it out there. So
Right.
yeah. So if you're listening, listeners out there, you've come across this and you're a light language, you're speaking light language, well then welcome, welcome. And yeah, we hope this helps. So I'll just begin asking the question. So when did you first start transmitting light language, and how did it come about for you? Did you, I kind of believe, I think you had an activation. So
Um,
I'm guessing
y-
that's like then you
yes, I did
intentionally.
have an
Yeah.
I I did have an activation. A friend of mine, well, I had a toning practice at the time, a toning group, and one of the members of the toning group said that she had heard her and her partner kept hearing the word activation. They're very attuned out there. And so they looked online, what is activation? Just Googled it. And so Deb Clark from somewhere in California, I believe, her name came up as activation for light language. and it really, really resonated with Sarah. So she was telling me about it. And when she said the word activation, I get I get a frisson. I get a quiver
Mm.
inside the is it the heart, or it's somewhere in the chest here, whether, um, anyway, it's just like it's like a magnet, and it just kind of quivers and pulls me forward. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's resonating with me. So she got activated and did some light language for me, and it was very she does fairies. So and
Okay.
she's very, very fairy-like, and it
Yeah.
was so musical,
Yeah.
and it was just really enticing. So I had booked my activation immediately because I also wanted to be able to activate others. I mean,
Mm.
she could have activated me as well. She had already taken the training. But I also wanted to activate others, so she couldn't do that. So I just
Mm.
went through Deb, and in doing that, I guess I got all of Deb's gifts to help me, because she was channeling some of the messages coming in, and she was recognizing some of the guides. Um, and that was about 4.5 years ago, roughly. And when she activated me, I did a lot of clearing, like just massive bawling for no reason.
Mm.
Uh, Probably close to half an hour. Like we
Mm.
had to actually stop so I could sort of like rest and have something to drink and
Mm.
whatnot,
Is that
and then we
by
started
bawling you
again.
mean crying, right? Is that what you mean by
Pardon?
bawling? Crying?
Bawling, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
crying, crying, yes, yes, a lot of crying, just sobbing,
Yeah.
sobbing, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then she did the activation, and then she told me to get started, and she suggested I start by humming, which I did, and then the next thing well, because I do a toning practice, the solfeggio tones, um, I started going right into toning right away. And then it was like a dam broke, like there was a tsunami wave of energy come through, and guides, and they were all talking on top of each other. And it was mayhem. And it was, I was sitting on my bed, and I'm surprised like the bed didn't actually just break under me, because it was just
Yeah.
so animated. There were hands flying all over the place, and poor Deb, she's on Zoom and she's watching all of this, and there's all this stuff happening, and I'm inside watching. Like on my left side is where I keep my mind, and the right side is open to what's coming in, and I'm on the left side over here, and I'm like, holy, what is that? It was just absolute mayhem, and it was like tornado speed. And I just kept getting more and more energized. And like I finally just had to say, ooh, that's enough,
Yeah.
like that's enough. And so then we stopped, and I'm like, wow. And Deb is like, wow. Because most people are, so it's like when I started drumming, the drum maker that I was working with, it was just a private session, and I picked up the drum and I just started hammering on it and crying and bawling and sobbing, and it was just like dumping all of this energy that was no longer serving me. And it was like that too. So I expect that now when I have experiences. They're not little experiences, they're like over the top.
Yeah.
So she was able to tell me that it seemed to her, she recognized some of the gestures as
Mhm.
parts of the mudras that they make in specific groups of beings, I guess, star
Oh, okay.
seeds, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. There were snippets, and people who see colors when they switch from guide to guide, see the colors changing, and sometimes the colors are changing so fast they can't keep track of how many guides are coming in and out.
Okay.
But they'll see that when I'm doing my light language transmissions. Like, I have tried to stop them all coming at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I actually stopped doing it at first because I couldn't do it like everybody else was doing
Mm,
it. Like, there were like there's online on YouTube, there's groups, especially Deb's people and stuff that Deb does. And she does beautiful, wonderful, really polite kind of light language like you
yeah.
guys do. But I couldn't do that. And I tried isolating out one guide and being really mean and not letting the others come in. And like, I couldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I just couldn't. I couldn't do anything. I'd sit there like just absolutely mute because I was trying to control it.
Yeah. Okay.
So so that's kind of what it was like for me. It was just like mayhem, and it kind of I yeah, I tried to control it and make it like everybody else's, and try and participate in the trainings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't, and I was embarrassed to do anything in the class on Zoom because it was just like, oh yeah, this is really bizarre and weird. And but people were, some of the other ones, were again picking up on these different guides coming in.
Yeah.
So that was kind of okay, but I couldn't see doing that all the time. It just didn't feel right. And so I just slowly started letting it come how it wanted. And the guides move through. It's like, from what I can tell, I don't get any messages. I don't necessarily understand anything particular that they're trying to say, other than I have somewhat limited visions or knowings sometimes, but sometimes visions, very small, and that's more new. Um, and I sometimes mostly get like feelings. So what was the general feeling of that entire transmission? What were they all trying to do? And there's specific ones that are over here and they're taking out like old codes that aren't serving anymore.
Mm.
And then there's sometimes like a feeling of, okay, that's the end of taking out the codes that aren't serving anymore. Now we're bringing in new ones, and there'll be that. And then sometimes it's just like, oh, well, this one feels really joyous, and there's some in there, and they're just like spreading around the fluff and the fun. And then there's the next thing, like there's like down in the dirt and under the earth, and you feel the grumbling and the rumbling, sort of like earthquakes down there, and there's stuff coming up, and they'll fling it up and you know release energies that are stuck like in the land. I've done
Mm-hmm.
work with there. I had a couple of male dragons that were around for a while, and they like to do the digging down and releasing all that dark stuff
Mm-hmm.
from in the land, a place where there were massacres around here.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of thing I often do a lot by myself. Um, but I also like to work with other people a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You and I have worked together
yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit.
And I've done some really interesting work with one person down in the States, where she had a client and asked me if I could help. She had a client who couldn't, and I've actually have a friend like this that I've done some work with and done the work for her because she allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and these people can't release, they can't cry,
Yeah.
they can't. They're they're
Yeah.
they're really stuck, and they
Yeah.
can't move past that. So, and this woman, when she asked me, she said, like, I can do this part of it, but I can't do that as well as the releasing the emotional side of it. So,
Mhm.
what we actually did was she did the whole talking thing. It was quite bizarre and it was so exciting. And it was, I always find light language fun. I don't care what it is, no matter what you're
Yeah.
clearing. I always find it like fun, like being a little kid and just having a fun time, and your mouth is doing all kinds of weird stuff, and it's just fun. So she did the talking through, okay, this is what, and this is, what's coming through, and she was interpreting and channeling message and all this kind of stuff. I was doing light language clearing codes, and then all of a sudden I was doing like this wailing and screaming and this really murky energy and clearing that. And that was like the crying was dry. I had no tears, but it
Yeah.
was all the sounds and the feelings of crying.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I'm like over here on my left side, I'm like, well, that's really weird, Because again, you don't do that normally for yourself. You
Yeah.
can't do that for yourself by
Yeah.
yourself. So, and it was just like it was so intense. And when I get really into it, I've had to be able to say, okay, that's enough, because my face apparently will get really red. The energy goes up and up, and I'm sure my blood pressure's going up and up.
Mhm.
And it just feels like, oh my God, this energy is so big, I'm going to explode.
Yeah.
And so I have to say, okay, guys, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And so I just had an intention with the guides, and I just said, okay, so I have a physical body, and you guys have to sort of understand that there's
Mm.
limitations to it. And so you have to start noticing what that's like in my body and paying attention to that also. Don't leave that all up to me, because part of me is not quite there. So
Mm.
there's a specific limit that this body can probably
Yeah.
channel um, easily or
Right.
safely. So they've been good about that. That they're like, there's sometimes that like in this session where this woman, where I cleared all of that for her, um, and then I came down out of it, and I'm talking with this woman, and that client was not even involved in this. But
Okay.
apparently,
Yeah.
when she worked with the client again, she said the woman had made massive leaps forward.
Yeah.
It had
Wow.
worked. It had cleared through her.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So I just found that amazing.
Yeah. What a
So,
gift.
and exciting,
Yeah. Yeah.
that somebody can do that with just with the guides and allowing the body to be used as an instrument, a conduit.
Beautiful.
So,
Well, that's
yeah.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing all that with us. That's great. And you've actually answered quite a few of my questions.
Well, I know I was looking at them, and then I was trying to think, well, this belongs to this question and this belongs to this question. And then of course I lost it all, and it's just it flows from one thing to the other.
Yeah,
And
no, that's perfect. So yeah, I mean,
oh wow.
because you've talked about how you don't generally as a general rule understand what's being transmitted, which was one of my questions. Because
Yeah,
I'm a bit the
yeah.
same. I've a lot of the stuff that comes through me, I have no idea what's being transmitted
Hmm.
other than the
Yeah,
feelings. The feelings
yeah.
I'm feeling, and I might get visions, and I might get like little snippets of words. And I was saying this in another interview. There's been times where it's like when I do get that, I then start to try and speak English, particularly if there's other people involved. Um, but quite often it's like there'll be a pause, and I'll go to speak English, and just more light language will come out. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually, once the light language starts coming through, it's a real effort to switch from that into English, because
Mhm.
and from what what I've been told and what I've read and heard from other people is that, in the light language, so much more can be transmitted than if they speak English to us, because English is a very, and I'd say this is like this with quite a lot of the languages on, like the earthbound languages, is that they're limited because of the limitations we as humans have imposed upon them. And but English particularly is quite very constricting kind of language. So for them to try and speak English is not as easy as speaking light language, and so that's kind of where I feel like that comes through. But like if I'm persistent with it, because like I said, I'll be speaking light language and there'll be different words or phrases. I'll get the general feeling of what's coming through, and like I said, when I sometimes will pause and then go to speak light language, go to speak English to say what's come through, more light language will come through. And then I get more things, and it's like, hang on, now I'm going to remember all of this, and then I'll persist. Sometimes I don't persist. Sometimes I just allow the light language to come through, and I just there's something that just comes over me and says, "Don't worry about the English. It's okay." But then there's other times where I'll just be quite persistent with it, and eventually it will actually come through. And then once the English starts coming through, then they get on a bit of a roll, and it will go through with different things, and then I'll slip back into light language, and then English and stuff. So, but yeah, it's kind of the same for me. And then you've also talked about, knowing. I mean, I knew just from our experience together, I know dragons come through you, but so you have a general idea when the language is when the trans things when it's being transmitted, that it switches from sort of one guide to another guide to another guide. So you feel that when it changes from one to another?
Um, no, no.
No.
Some I recognize, like when I had the unicorn come through the first time. Um, I don't know whether I saw it before. I can't remember if I saw it before or we'd been talking about unicorns a lot, just in general conversation, whatever, maybe with my friends or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe did that call it in? I don't
Oh yeah.
know.
Okay. Yep.
Um, or, but then most of the time they just show up, not because I've called them in, but like there were bees that were there for like a long time, and really lots of bees, serious bees. And we're doing all this bzz, 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 and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
all codes. Like, I guess part of it. So I don't think, first of all, I don't think that light language is specifically meant to transmit
Mm.
messages as such.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think it's more, and this is Deb's teaching as well,
Yeah.
that it's more about clearing codes that aren't serving anymore and installing new codes, particularly for fifth dimension and beyond.
Yes.
So that helps us to move through these densities that we're in. Um, so I always see that as my main function. And then some of the other stuff is like more fun and extra.
Mm.
But I always feel there's an element of the transmission that is specifically for advancement, and I usually do my toning, or sorry, my light language sessions are for the earth and all consciousness upon her. So it's not just me or a specific group of friends. It's like all of us, we're all one. It's
Yeah.
this unity consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So messages for individuals or whatever, we're all one. So it doesn't really have to be broken down like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If somebody's looking for some kind of answer or they
Mm.
want a specific thing addressed, in general, it will all come. And you sharing that out is what brings it into you.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um, then the guides change and move through me, and I can tell my ancient matriarchal dragon is leaving me. I've
Mm.
She makes it makes me sad that she's not around much anymore.
Yeah.
She's not
Okay.
coming in at the beginning necessarily,
Yeah.
or if she is, it's very, very short.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still whispers of her at the end as well. But she's moving through, and the two young male dragons have definitely, I don't usually get them anymore. Um, the bees sometimes come a little bit, little wee bzz, bzz, bzz,
Mm.
but not massive.
Yeah.
Um, my avians, I used to have so many like birds and like, yeah, and I get some now, but not as many. But then I've moved more into like angel kind of singing as well. And it
Mm-hmm.
depends who I'm working with too.
Yeah.
Like I have a friend who does angel singing, and it activated that in me. So that comes through me then, because I resonate with it.
Yeah.
And like if I'm working with Sarah, I will start to move more into the fairies.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I've got some new beings that have been working with me, but I don't know what they are. I used to have um, Mantis, and Deb identified Mantis for
Mm.
me as well. I mean, she had so many things. One of them was like she said golden triad, she thought. Like, I don't even know what that is, and I couldn't when I looked for it online, I couldn't find anything on it. Um, but it's just something that other people know. So that's why I like working with other people. You
Yeah.
never know what they're going to know.
Yeah.
And the one person who like saw all the different colors with all the different guides,
Yeah.
um yeah, it's a really rich environment out
Yeah.
there,
It is.
but it's hard to access it by myself.
Yeah.
So, and one other thing about resonating, I like to work with resonance, and a lot of people aren't really sure what that is. And for me, resonance is like I said, it's that little quiver in the heart, the solar plexus, somewhere in between the solar plexus and the heart is sort of where I feel it.
Mm.
And it's that quivering, and if you're not paying attention or you discount the quiver and you say, "Oh, it was just my coffee this morning," all of a sudden
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little sparkle, you know, but it's not. So
Mm.
pay attention, that's your intuition, and it's like a little jolt of electricity.
Yeah.
So I was explaining it to my toning group one day, and there's a member of this toning group who has a very high pitch. She's a soprano singer
Mm-hmm.
and has sang in choirs and stuff, which normally are a little more difficult to have in a toning group because they always want it to be, harmonious and it
Mm-hmm.
should sound like the choir, but it doesn't. Toning
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
sounding like the choir.
Yeah.
So, and there were some other new people in there. And so she was saying, like, how do I know when it's resonance? Because it's not the way it sounds
Mm.
like musically. And I said, well, like when you hit a note and she says, okay, like you mean like this? And she sang a note and it was very resonant for me and
Mm-hmm.
it activated me like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I just blurted out this light language, just blah 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 now, just like frantically like flailing around in front of the group. And I had no control over that one.
Yeah.
Typically, I have a fair bit of control. I could stop.
Yeah.
But that one was it was, the energy is so enticing. When you're in the thick of it, You
Uh-huh.
don't want to stop
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
feels so, well, I guess it's the Kundalini, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
better
okay.
than sex, you
Yep.
know? So, yeah, she just set me off and I was gone and it was like, whoa, and it was like instantly just shot through me and I'm sure my face was totally red when I was done and like it was just like, whoo, I was tingling. It was amazing.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, like light language can be nice and predictable, like some people, but for me, it's not. It is
Yeah.
definitely not. Um, I've gone for craniosacral work, and in the middle of it, the light language starts coming through. And it's how I do my clearing now. When I go
Yeah.
and see another practitioner, I have to let them know I'm going to be wild and crazy. And if they're not prepared to deal with that,
Yeah.
you know,
Out the
I need
door.
to find somebody else, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I do all of my best clearing, working with other people. I don't know what they're clearing at that point when they're working on me, with my energy. Um, is it just stuff for me? I have no idea.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, and being able to sustain a high pitched note, like I cannot sing, really. I can't carry a tune.
Mm.
But I, in one session with the craniosacral, I was sustaining a note for so long and it just kept going and going and
Hmm.
going. And the energy was just, it was like just going, wow, wow. It
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
like,
right.
oh, it was so amazing. And I'm thinking, I should stop this. Yeah, I should definitely stop this because my hands are starting to tingle and my toes are
Yeah,
tingling. And
yeah,
I
okay.
should probably breathe, but I really don't feel like I need to.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But that oxygen deprivation sort of thing was already stepping in.
Yeah, okay.
It was just so amazing. And then there's these other times where it's like, slogging through the tar pits. I don't know if you listen to Cry On, but one of the parables is being able to move through the tar pits and not getting the tar on you.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
else is
okay.
covered in the black stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
you're able to move through and out the other side and you didn't get it on you. So this is kind of like sometimes you're moving through the tar pits and you're getting it all on you because it's just dense,
Yeah.
very dense. And
Mm.
then other times it's like you move through the darkest energies and you just feel amazing and awesome and you didn't get it on you. You didn't get it on you and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah, it's clearing stuff.
Yeah.
Um but
That's
there was the
cool.
one time the woman with the high note, she's very religious
Mm.
and she sees things. She's
Mm-hmm.
clairvoyant. And she saw me clearing a dark energy, a density,
Mm-hmm.
just flow out down the side here, and it was gone. And when I was finished, she's like, I saw a demon. You had a demon in you. Yeah, this was a demon.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa. Okay. So demons are energy created by the mind. I'm telling
Mm.
her. And there were other people in the group that are, on board with this, but religion teaches them that that's demonic. And
Mm.
she could see it.
Yeah.
I felt it more than, I mean, I don't see it with my eyes per se. I see it. I always do light language with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And that's like if you're
Mm.
going to have a vision or whatever, it's
Yeah.
inside there that you see it. And I see the energy and I feel the energy when I'm really resonant and I'm looking for that note and when she hits that note, I feel it up here. I'm all about the hearing. It's all in the hearing. It's like little generators by my ears.
Mm.
And yeah, I have no problem finding the note that's resonant with whatever energy, say, like of this, the third eye or the throat chakra. I
Yeah.
feel that. I can feel it in my ears here, heart
Yeah.
chakra. Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's just these things, those feelings, and it's getting to know yourself. Light language really helps you to know yourself,
Mm.
really are,
Yeah.
and some of your
Yeah.
strengths, gifts, they pop up, and
Yeah.
yeah, you might as well just make like a fool out of yourself because it's going to be worth it. It's going to be so worth it.
Yeah. So that kind of can lead me into one of the other questions I have. So, um, for me, when I first started, it was just like I felt so weird. And, as we sort of talked about at the beginning, it's like weird, and I felt weird amongst the weirdos. And I questioned my sanity. So what was it like when you first started? Did it feel weird for you? Did you question, your sanity, or um,
Um,
did you question whether
I
you were making it up, in your mind? Like, because I know I certainly went through all of that.
no, because I've been looking for energy since my 20s when
Yeah.
a friend told me. That was when I realized some people didn't actually believe in religion and didn't do religion, but they did a thing called spirituality, which
Oh yeah.
I had
Okay.
not run across before. Okay. Um, I went to school at a convent school. We didn't
Hmm.
talk about weird stuff
Yeah.
like
No.
that.
No. No.
So just not in my radar at all. And so then I got all excited and I thought, well, I'll go and take a Reiki course and then I'll be able to do Reiki. And lo and behold, I took Reiki courses and I took Yuan method and I don't know, I got all kinds of activations for this and that where you're feeling energy with your hands and
Mm.
sorry, I don't feel energy with my hands,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
Even now, very rarely I feel a little something.
Hmm.
Um, but apparently I think I transmit through there, even though I
Yeah.
don't necessarily feel it.
Yeah.
But I had been looking and looking and looking and moved two provinces over to find more spiritual people than what I was surrounded with,
Yeah.
where I was living before, where it felt like dead energy. And here found that and um, found sound actually before I left there, but I couldn't get anybody interested over there in sound.
Mm.
So brought my tuning forks here, and here I started to run into people that were more interested. I took more training. Um, and when I was using the tuning forks according to the training, which is using them with a client on a client where the
Mm.
client thinks you're performing some kind of an energy treatment.
Mm.
So I didn't like that, and I didn't like that it wasn't empowering for these people. They were lying there having something done for them, and then if they
Yeah.
didn't feel
Okay.
better right away, they
Mm.
thought it hadn't worked and I hadn't done my job. And
Hmm.
so that wasn't right. So anyway, that was bothering me. And so I started humming while I was waiting for the tuning forks to go into alignment at the chakras.
Hmm.
And I noticed that the humming really quickened the process. So
Oh,
the
okay.
next thing I know,
Yep.
I'm kind of humming, and the next thing I'm like, and I looked. Jonathan Goldman
Hmm.
uses
Yep.
vowels, and
Yep.
that really resonated with me. The Sanskrit sounds, meh, not so much, but I
Hmm.
love vowels. So
Yep.
I started using the vowels at the chakras and, just sort of kind of singing a little bit, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, not the exact note because the tuning forks are way, way high
Yep.
for the solfeggio energy forks. But I sang, I've had 8 years of piano, so I could sing something that was harmonious with it.
Mm.
So I started that, and I noticed like it just started to feel like energy in me, and the sounds got louder and the energy would get bigger, and the the chakra would just snap into alignment.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, whoa, nice. So I
Yeah.
just started, like, hey, you guys can do this. You don't need me doing this, or,
Mm.
or you can help yourself here. I'm going to hold a fork and you tone with me. Well,
Yeah.
most clients couldn't tone by themselves with me.
Mm.
So when I finished my training and I wasn't offering any more free sessions, I started just doing toning by myself, for myself, with the tuning forks every day to see what would happen. And the sounds got really, really loud, and the energy really started to pick up in me, and overtones started coming in, these
Mm.
whistling sounds. I had no idea what they were, but somebody at yoga class told me they were overtones. She was like a professional singer and in a
Mm-hmm.
choir and all this kind of stuff. And to me, it just kind of sounded like angels.
Yeah, okay.
And but I can't sing a song.
Yeah.
So it was all very interesting.
Mm.
And when I brought that toning, we moved again into a smaller community from a city into a village. And there's about 1,400 people here, roughly. And I started doing a toning group here with these people. And a lot of this is a kind of a valley area where a lot of people went away to escape the Vietnam War
Mm.
from the US. And there's a lot of like, I don't want to use any terms that are derogatory,
Yeah.
like unknowingly. But there are people who don't like things to change and
Oh,
use
yeah.
old ways,
Yeah.
and everything is done by hand. A lot of gardening,
Mm.
farming, like a lot of food is produced here. And there's a strong sense of community. The valleys are somewhat narrow here, so everything is along the road when you drive down the road.
Uh-huh.
It gives you a real sense of belonging and
Yeah.
connection in
Yeah.
this area, what I find.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I started developing that whole toning practice simply for people to empower themselves
Mm-hmm.
by making the sounds themselves and
Yeah.
starting to feel how it felt in the body, because any of these sounds, and I think light language is like that. It's the
Yeah.
sound that it makes in the body, the vibrations it produces, that produces energy in our cells. It raises our frequency, and
Mm.
everything is about frequency. So language is frequency, but English happens to be somewhat low frequency language. But when you're
Yeah.
speaking in light language, that's a much higher frequency.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. It sounds to me like rather than it being weird for you when you started, it was just a natural progression to go on from the
It,
humming and the toning
yes,
and then just
yes,
moving quite naturally
yes.
into light language. Yeah,
And
yeah,
Deb
beautiful.
was the one that also told me that toning is actually part of light language,
Yes. Yeah.
because that's how some entities
Mm.
actually speak,
Yeah.
like angel singing. And like, yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
which, I don't know specific starseed beings or anything like that use it per se, and I don't try to identify or judge this as this and this is
Mm.
that. I just like, yeah, it feels good. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah. If
Yeah.
this feels good, it's good.
Yeah. I mean, when just listening to you, and then when I think about my own sort of journey, I can actually see that there was toning and chanting and, like the devotional sort of stuff like bhajan and kirtan and that sort of stuff. But there was a lot of that in my life, and sound sort of not sound therapy per se, but that kind of thing was already there before the light language started. So yeah, that makes sense to me. So I'm just aware of the time. Like I'm aware that you need to go shortly, and I do
Right.
want to do for us to do some light
Did
language
we
with each other
miss
further.
anything? Did we miss anything
Well,
here?
I would just probably going to say no, because I think you've kind of fairly well covered most of the questions. So I'll just ask you one last one, but I'll just get you to keep it brief because I want us to do some light language with each other before like to end off. But one of the other questions I'm asking people is sort of what advice would you give to anyone who's just started out with light language, John, on their like who's just started out with their light language journey or who is wishing to start transmitting light language? What sort of advice would you give them?
I would say, first of all, get in touch with me and do a free Zoom with me. um,
Yeah, we can put
yeah,
links. We'll
I'm,
put. Are you happy to have your email? I can put your email in the. So
yes,
when I post it
yes,
on YouTube, I'll put like there's a little section just a descriptive section on the underneath, and I'll put your email address in there for
yes.
people
And
who
if
may want to
people
contact
could,
you.
yes, if people would, if they're going to contact me, put light language right away at the beginning
Oh
so
yeah,
I
like
see
it's the
it
header.
when the email shows up and I don't delete it.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, I am happy to actually work with all people who want to, get started with light language or share a session or help activate each other. It's not like I'm going to do something to you, but it's going to be a sharing and we're both going to get something out of it. We will share the energy
Mm,
between us
yeah.
that's coming back and forth, and then the guides get mixed in, and we'll activate each other so that when you're actually struggling, the next person that you're working with or the group you're working within, they all help and train you. So,
Mm,
and train means like a train. You're like the engine of the train and you're pulling it along.
mm-hmm.
And the people who are are helping the people who are learning. They're coming along behind and it's making them go faster and faster. So they're
Mm-hmm.
picking up speed and they're,
Yeah.
yes. So entrainment is
Yeah.
what it's
Okay.
called, where you're helping other people. And of course, what they're doing, I mean, actually activates me and helps
Mm,
me.
okay.
So it's not like somebody is getting something and somebody's taking something.
Mm,
There's
yeah. It's
always
a give and take kind
it's
of
always an
situation.
exchange.
Yeah.
Yes, always an exchange. And it's always beneficial on some level. So don't hesitate. That's my first thing. And the second thing is definitely do the Stargate group with us. That's also one of my favorite places. And especially when we do the choir at the end,
Mm,
when we all get to speak all together and you do your thing. And then if you have a lull, then you listen and you'll hear what you need to hear and
mm,
it'll set you
mm,
off again.
yeah.
And it's kind of like how you pick up all the little bits and pieces you might have missed. The
Yep.
energy gets gathered up and oh here, do this, and here, move this. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I like it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Beautiful.
what you do, Bronwyn, for us.
Yeah, thank you. So for the viewers out there, what Kat's referring to, if you haven't listened to any of the other videos of the light language interviews I've done with other people, is that I facilitate light language sessions on Zoom roughly once a month for a community that Kat and I are both in called the Stargate community. But you don't need to be involved in the Stargate community to join our sessions if you want. So I'll put my email address in, and then for anyone who is actually interested, for you listeners out there who's interested in joining those, it's a very welcoming space. You won't be judged, you'll be very welcomed. And you don't need to actually share light language if you don't want to. You can come along and just listen, and then you can share when you're ready to share or not. It doesn't matter. It's all everything. Whatever happens is completely okay. And so I'll put my email address in the description as well, along with Kat's email in case you want to contact her personally and have a session with Kat, which I would highly recommend. I've done several sessions with Kat and they've been wonderful. So yeah. Okay, so shall we do some light language with each other? Let's do that.
Okay. And
Alrighty.
before I forget, can I also remind
Mm,
people, especially when you're trying to get comfortable transmitting light language, but always, you are always in perfection,
mhm.
always in perfection. Just
Yeah,
remember that. It's
exactly.
always
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. There's no wrong. There's no wrong
There's
way.
no judgment, not a bit.
And if you're doing it with us, it's very safe. There's not any negative energies that, if you want to put it like that, that come through. So yeah, always make it very safe. Okay, so let's do it, shall we? So I just want to, just before we start, is that quite often, when I've experienced Kat sharing light language, it has um,
A frequency.
vibrational frequency that sometimes is a little bit high for the microphone to pick up, and so it might go silent. If you've got your eyes open, which I would recommend that you don't, that you actually have your eyes closed to feel the energies. But if you do, you'll probably see that Kat's still talking and moving her hands around and stuff, and you may not hear sound. But just please close your eyes and tune in and feel the energy, because you will still feel it even if you can't hear it. It's still being transmitted and you will feel it. Um, Other than that, I am going to just suggest that everybody just now close their eyes. So we might just start that, Kat, yeah? So just,
Are we doing separately?
huh?
Are we
Sorry.
doing separately? You first?
Yeah, I think, oh, you want to do some together like we do in the thing. Yeah, okay. Sweet. Okay, so let's just, I mean, you and I will both know. Like I always
Yeah,
get a
we'll know
feeling
when to
now.
start.
I can feel it's like they're tapping on the door, going, "Hey, our turn, our turn," and I'll let it go, and then I get that's now it's time to stop and let someone else transmit, or it just comes to its natural end. So yeah, let's do that, and then at some point we will do it together, and then I'll bring the session to a close. So yeah, all right, beautiful. So for the listeners out there, I just invite you just to find a comfortable position. Seated is probably best, but whatever's comfortable for you. And just close your eyes. Allow yourself to relax. So you can just consciously ask your body just to relax. Bring your attention to your breath. Watch your breath as it moves in and out of your body. And with each new breath in, just take it a little deeper into the belly and slow it down. And then you can use the out breath just to allow the body to relax a little more. So breathing in a little deeper, a little longer. Breathing out, allowing the body to fully relax. Letting go of any tensions, any worries or concerns that you have, even just for these short moments, just let them fall away. And I'd like you to feel yourself connected to the earth. So you can feel your feet upon the floor. Visualize cords, energetic cords coming from the soles of your feet or from your base chakra down into the energy of the earth, down into the core of the earth, like the roots of a tree, wrapping around that core so that you're fully grounded and connected to the earth. This allows us to reach higher into the more expanded dimensions and realms. And just relax. And you can, as Kat has sort of said, you can take your mind and just bring it down into the left side of your heart. Or as I like to say, you can just park it in neutral, as the mind might find this weird and want to know what's being said. And do your best just to allow those thoughts to just pass through like clouds and to feel the energies, feel the sounds. Yala kumaraya, aye, ashusite ke nana moe la kaia. Aruke e naru kuma hawa. Tera shisi tatauru mo lea ke tada umene. Teki iraka ukurea tara shise tatu murea kaia. Neru kuma e alku karia tara e shiata. Tu se karaki nana makuruki. Tera uma ukole e kira kashi se turuma yena. Tara ukuya. Te el karomuye atara ukoshe. Chetasu kurumaye ya. Ne iro kumule ki etaro kushi satoru koye kalki narare e aturu moye kala yeke. E nananano ya ka a o ke a ye ya. Te hishisa ukoma. Tera ye ka e ala kumara ya tara ane ye. Tera ma ye ka u ka ya. Neri aturu moi I e taruku ya u ka ye.
Rashara, Oxiara, Usirara, Usirara, Yarao, Oisiara, Rusiara, Ora. Ara oh shara Kara you yo ra 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 Shara Ruri Roy Yes. Yes.
Te lokura shana karage karake na muruke la karagia guru mare ashasi te turu mo ye aka. Inena kae o me atarai e asha. E satukuru ye e te rauru. Mari ki aru. Shisa tatatu reya. Neraki inamoru ya. Te ki ananana shi. Isa tutukuru e narakarai karaki. Terara moye taraye anaraye turushi sitatatara ne nano moye taraka itatataru kuye tatatar nanana I nanana kuye tatataturya nenamanaki I tutu I nanana ya tatatate arukuru ya manana ya nano I ya tatatu ukara e ya tataturu ya shasatatuku ya mara inanara ya tarake ya taraka Inanaya ukarea kaya kara itara shisa tatato u e tatara I nenanara itara kara uma e tara ukuria karia o me aro iara ya shisa tatato e tatara ya tututu ya mara ya ke e ara kukurea tara I nanara ya e tatatu kukuki e tatatata ya e tatatu rra e namara u nenanana I tatata I shisa tatututu ya tatatata ya ruya E nanama uia lalakai e tara ishe satatu e tatataru aki atatutu ananana I aku nenarr umaraya e shatatu I satatata I ea e tatata ukuru e amanana I atatata u a inana u e a u e arra e tatu e tatatati atututi a ki la kalake aka hioku E mararea shisatuku ye kerea karaki nananani nananana ya koruma ya nanana ya kakieta te ki e tatatu uku aya a. So we'll now just move into light transmissions, light language transmissions together, hoping to create a symphony of sounds. No kuya marayao, she siturumaya, eraku turumaye naki etaraka, shesa tukumaye nete tatuta itaraye yaka, nauma yataru uye tari, shesa tutumuro ye kaita. Ni uruke tatati atarake akuma etara uye aturu umaye aturu umaye umare aturu uturu umare aturu umare aturu umare aturu uyetarashi aturaye namure atu yaturu naoye atareya umareyata Yanate aturu
Isiarara, uri iarara,
Yaturu
ichkararora, isiarara,
Yatare
rutka, iara, isu,
Yaturanu Yatare
rau,
Netarau So just inviting the listeners to feel the stillness that exists, to drop into the stillness. Allow it to permeate your whole beingness. And know that this stillness you may be feeling, and no concern if you're not feeling it, that's okay. And if you are feeling this stillness, know that it's always available to you. This stillness exists within each and every single one of us. And it's most easily accessed by connecting to the breath. Taking some time to actually still the body. Tuning into your breath. Connecting with the stillness that's inside. So you can bring this stillness back with you now. It's now time to start feeling your own energetic field, becoming aware of it, becoming aware of the room that you're in or your surroundings, where you're placed within the room or the surroundings. Feeling the body, feeling the fingers and the toes, wriggling them if you need to or you want to. feeling the chair or whatever it is that you're sitting or lying on, feeling your body where it's connecting to that, becoming fully aware of your body. Remembering the groundedness and connectedness to the earth. As I've already said, you may like to wriggle your fingers or your toes, to roll your shoulders or move your body in any way that it feels to move. Stretching. These are all things that help you to become fully grounded in your body again, whilst at the same time maintaining the stillness. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. Wow.
That was awesome.
It was, yeah. Thank you, Kat. That's really beautiful. It's really helped me a lot, actually. For the viewers out there, my father's just passed away recently in the last sort of week. And so there's been a lot of processing and things going on for me about that and stuff to do with family. And so before we actually started recording, I was talking to Kat about it. And yeah, so now I'm feeling a lot more centered. And so thank you.
You're
Thank
quite
you.
welcome. That explains, I think, there was some black, uh, sort of like, lightning. You know how zigzag
Yeah, yeah,
lightning is in
yeah.
cartoons? It's like that, but it was black and it was down at the bottom and it was
Mm.
daggery and it was kind of choppy like this. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what the heck is that?
yeah.
But yeah, that's, yeah,
Yeah,
clearing
that
that.
energy and at some point in your first lot of your first transmission, I think it was, and anyway, whatever, one of your transmissions, it was like I found my hands were doing this, and it was like
Awesome.
clearing all of that emotionally charged energy I've been feeling in the last
Oh,
24 hours. So
there was wailing and crying in there too.
yeah,
Did you hear that?
I did, yeah.
Wailing and crying. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was the shift into fire horse, energy.
Mm,
But, I think it was probably more what we were talking about because that was really immediate.
mm,
And yeah, there's probably some stuff around my dad's passing, which was
yeah.
like 40 years ago, that
Yeah,
was
wow, okay.
probably, yeah, in there, still not dealt
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
That might have been helping me also. So, like, I don't know what it was. There's no story.
Mm.
We're not
Could be
trying to
fire
say it
horse
was,
energy. I am a fire horse.
yeah.
I am.
Well,
I
there
am.
you
I'm a
go.
fire horse. This is my year. I'm 60 this year.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. Good for you. That's maybe why you're so activated right now.
I think so. Yeah,
Really triggered. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That
Yeah,
transition yesterday.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because it was actually, it was it was the official New Year, wasn't it? Yesterday, or was it the day before?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yesterday.
yesterday. Yeah,
Yesterday.
yeah.
Yep.
Probably the day before for us because we're like one day ahead of you guys.
Mm,
There.
right. Yeah. Yeah. In
But
the
yeah,
grand
whatever.
scheme of time.
It's not any one particular. It's like there's a day, but the energy's not confined to that day. It's
Hmm. Hmm.
beautiful. All right. Well, thank you so much. If you're still with us, that's beautiful. You've made it this far. We really appreciate that. And as I've said, I'll put Kat's email address and my email address. And please feel free to reach out about anything. Okay, to either of us. I know at some point in there with the second part the second transmission I did, I felt like there was an activation happening in there. Um, but I'm never really sure. I'm a bit like Kat, it's like, yeah. So if things are happening for you after listening to this and you want to reach out, then please feel free to reach out to either myself or to Kat. Both of our email addresses are in the description below. And yeah, if you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it. It all helps. Or not, whatever resonates with you out there.
And it's awesome fun.
It is. It is a lot of fun. Yeah, it is. We have a lot of fun in our monthly ones, don't we? It's a lot of
Yeah, there's
yeah.
always some fun in a transmission.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
There's always something, yeah, to giggle or feel great about,
Uh-huh.
or yeah, or the fairies coming in there at the end. Oh my God, they were all
Yes. I
excited.
thought
I
that
don't
was
often get fairies.
yeah, I thought that was fairy energy, which is interesting because we spoke about that. So it was kind of like, hey, we're here.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I think we call them in, especially when we talk about them. They just can't resist showing up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, for
So,
sure. It's like,
yeah,
woohoo.
yeah.
I have a dolphin that's like that, an aspect of me that's a dolphin. Her name's Chloe. And yeah, see, I can feel her now. She's like, yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Did I miss it? She says, did I miss it?
Mm, beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, goodbye to the viewers. I'm going to stop the recording now. So thank you so much for
Bye.
listening and
And
joining
thanks
us.
for being with us.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.